This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Bloody Happy Hour here. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year. 2025 is so great.
It's been so long since we've been in the studio. It's been a good little break. We hope you missed us. This story, is there anything new we need to tell them for the new year? I do want to say...
I do want to say that in maybe a few days, TikTok may be gone.
Ooh. I learned how to cook so many things over the break on TikTok.
Well, here's what you have to do.
You have to sign a petition.
You have to go to your TikTok, find all your favorite followers or all the people that you follow that you like, and you got to go follow them on Instagram or X or something.
I feel like they're all everywhere anyways.
Yes. But a lot of times they will post on TikTok and then just share it to Instagram. Now they'll just have to post on Insta and share it to nowhere.
You know what? That just is falling in line with our story today. Social media.
Wow.
Influencers.
Yeah, they did a big hearing on it. So they're going to decide in a few days or a week or something, the 16th or the 19th or whatever. I don't even know what today is. Something.
It is a time suck, but all social media is, I might have to do a scrub, like a fast for the beginning of the year, because when that alert comes at the end of the day or the end of the week that says you have so-and-so hours of screen time today.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, what could I
see, with me, I just always have it on because I'm like, have it on in the background listening to something.
Yeah.
So it's probably like you have 24 hours of screen time. I mean, it might go off while I'm sleeping, but it's still playing in my ear. If it falls out of my ear, then it stops playing.
Yeah.
But I typically scroll Twitter or X and watch YouTube. But that's how I know all the things.
How productive our people would be if we did not have it. Okay, let's stay in Texas today.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you the title of this.
Okay, let's see if I can figure it out.
I feel like you're going to know it. So I feel like we've probably talked about it before. And it is recent, and I know you like recent stories. So let's meet a guy named Christian Albumselli.
Oh, hell.
Do you know him? April 4th. He was born April 4th, 1994 in Dallas, Texas. His nickname was actually Toby.
How are you going to tell it when we haven't even had the trial?
I know, only because...
Do we know what's something, did anything come out about it? I know the...
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just the story, and then I'll report the
yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was positive, he was captivating, and would just help anyone. He was a great athlete. He went to Plano East High School. He was a star linebacker there, and he was so good that he got a football scholarship to Abilene Christian University, and I just was listening to one podcast, and then this one came afterwards. And I was like, do I know this story? Do I know this story? And I heard Texas and I heard Abilene Christian. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
This is the OnlyFans murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
So people loved Christian or Toby. I'll call them both back and forth. He was like 6'2". He was big and broad, great athlete. After college, he got a job, but, he always had these dreams to travel, see the world, and just experience life. It's about 2020 now, okay? And he's 25 years old, And he had recently been laid off from his job because it's, what's it called? COVID. It's the shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pandemic.
And, but he was experimenting with being a cryptocurrency investor.
Oh,
So
that
he was
sounds
kind of at the
good.
house investing, and he was doing pretty good at that. And just living his bachelor life, where he met a literal blonde bombshell.
Mhm.
Literally. Her name was Courtney Clanny at a party. I've seen many things. They met at a party, and they met at Tulum, Mexico. They met in LA. Either way, they met at this party. She was a gorgeous blonde with bright blue eyes, had the best body, all the curves, and she caught his eye.
Mm-hmm.
And they hit it off immediately. It was a pandemic, and so people really shacked up really quick during the pandemic. And you needed somebody to kind of stay in the house with and cuddle with, right? The relationship moved pretty quick. And Courtney had not been in many long relationships because men didn't always support her line of work. Now, she was a full-time social media influencer.
Yeah, she was.
And at this time when they met, she was a full-time OnlyFans model and influencer. And OnlyFans, if you don't know, you pay a subscription to communicate with certain individuals that you, I guess, subscribe to or that you pick.
Yeah.
And OnlyFans is known for having a lot of sexually explicit communication going on.
Yeah. But you could also do only feet.
Oh, you could do only feet.
Only hands?
Only
Maybe.
hands.
I
What
don't
else?
know. Only legs.
Only foreheads.
Maybe only foreheads and only butts. I don't know.
They were known for being sexually explicit, but Toby was different. Toby was very, very supportive. He understood that this was her career, and he actually respected her work ethic, her success, and her line of work.
Mm-hmm. He became like her manager?
She had tons and tons of fans and subscribers. Yeah, he actually starts basically helping her and assisting her with her job.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kind of find out who Courtney is a little bit. She was born in 1996 to very wealthy parents in Texas. She was an amazing all-around athlete. She played all the sports, including diving. And she found out really quick at a young age that her looks got her so much attention. And so then she began focusing on her appearance. She had personal trainers. She would work out every day, sometimes multiple times a day, very, very hard. And because she was getting ready when Instagram launched in 2010, she saw what not a lot of people saw, right? We saw Instagram as let's post pictures of our meals or our friends or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
She started posting pictures of herself, her workout videos, her health and fitness journey, her meals. And she started following other influencers that were doing that, and they were kind of sharing their audiences a little bit. So she was one of the first to do it on Instagram, where she had 1 million followers pretty quick.
Dang.
She started getting brand deals. She was eventually approached by Playboy to participate in a feature, not like get in the magazine, but participate in a feature on social media. So there's a bunch of influencers on this Playboy little feature. This helped her to grow. And by 2015 is when she hit 1 million followers. Big deal back then.
Mm-hmm.
She was very, very, very busy. She was shooting videos. She was answering DMs. She was boosting her fan base. She was interacting with followers. This was a full-time job for her. And some people had teams to do it. She did it all by herself. She was making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. And then in 2016, when OnlyFans launched, she hopped on that bandwagon as well. And this was even more lucrative for her. And she is now showing explicit, more sexual content because it's well worth it for her. She was living what some would think was the life. Living life like in the fast lane. She was traveling everywhere. She was going on yachts. She was living in these amazing condos or high-rise apartments. She had all the money at her fingertips. But with that, she would get some stalkers and some people who would harass her and get obsessed with her because she was so good at what she was doing. They fell in love with her and they thought that they were the
really
only
knew her.
one.
Yeah.
And thought that she was speaking just to them. And really, she had millions, hundreds and thousands of people that she was talking to.
They thought they was special. They thought they was the special ones.
That's how you know you're really good at lying to people.
Man, I know.
Being fake. So that part of the job was really stressful.
Yeah.
Either way, though, she chose her career and she was all in it. Now, in 2020 is when her and Toby meet, and he supported the career. And she felt very, very safe. Things were like good. Toby was laid off, so he was basically her sidekick. He would set up her camera or her tripod. He would manage some of her social media accounts for her. He would travel with her everywhere. And she loved having this partner, and he loved helping her out. And he was able to live the life that he kind of dreamed about living way back in Abilene and Dallas when he was younger. So it felt like a win-win, and it felt like an ideal situation. It's now January 2022, and they moved to Miami, Florida, and they rented an all-glass condo, all glass, by the beach. And she is paying $10,000 a month rent.
That's insane.
They wanted to go to Miami because she wanted to live in a more appropriate social influencer place. And she wanted to be able to mingle with a lot of the other social influencers that live down there. So she was going to hang out with counterparts, coworkers, I guess. Things seemed so amazing on social media, like he was part of her Instagram, and people looked at them like, what a dream couple, what a power couple. And then he started joining her on her OnlyFans account. And, you know, when things seem too good on social media, is it usually?
No, it's not.
No, it's usually bullshit.
It's usually way bad.
And this,
even worse.
Yep, and that is the case for Toby and Courtney.
Did you know, and I don't know if this is coming later, but about when she was a realtor or tried to be a realtor?
After? Or before?
I think before.
After what's about to happen?
No.
Okay, well, you can put it in. Tell me about it. Oh, it was before she was even a social.
Unless you know about anything.
I don't know. I didn't see anything about it.
She was. I don't remember if it was before or after the actual incident, but it was for somebody that we both know in Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. Sealy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she did live in Austin.
Yeah.
This is where
so she, at some point, she tried to be a realtor for a person that we both know who used to be with us in Camp Gladiator.
Wow, small world.
Yeah.
I could see how she would be good at that too.
Yeah.
Just because beauty can get you a long way.
And our parents live in Austin, and so
Yeah.
So
and they're very wealthy, and so she was selling houses for the right people.
Yeah.
I could see that. Okay, so it's April 3rd, 2022. 911 receives a phone call from a woman. This woman does not say much. She just basically says the address and hangs up. Police get to the condo, and when they are approaching the condo, they hear Courtney saying, "Baby, baby, get up. Baby, baby, get up, get up." When they get into the condo, it is a disaster. Shit is everywhere. It looks like clothes, things on the floor that shouldn't be on the floor. And it didn't look like it was.
It
It just
looked like
happened that day.
Yeah, like it was like a party exploded. Like it's like, did you have a party? Was there was just shit everywhere?
Shit everywhere, like in these hoarder houses or something. Like it was for this beautiful condo. It was very surprising.
Yeah, like a disgusting, destroyed, beautiful condo. Like what are you doing? Did you grow up this way? And do you have one tiny corner of the house that's clean. that you do your videos in?
When they find Courtney, she is up against a wall, drenched in blood. And a couple feet away from her is boyfriend Toby. He has been stabbed with a single stab wound to his chest. EMTs come and they rush Toby to the hospital. He needs immediate surgery. And all she is screaming and crying is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Police, of course, have to do their job, and they have to interview her, and they have to take her to the police station, while some of the other policemen were interviewing people at the hotel. And when they're talking to the front desk attendant, because it's one of these, like, you just can't walk up to their apartment. You have to walk in, you have to check in, you have to be okay to go upstairs. The front desk attendant said about 15 minutes before the 911 phone call, so it was about 4:45 that afternoon, there was noise complaints, and neighbors were calling, and they said that it sounded like people were fighting in that apartment, and it did not sound right. So security went up to check on them, and it was about right before the phone call, and they saw Courtney open up the door, step out of the apartment, look down the hall. She had blood on her. Her dogs had blood on her. And when they looked in, Toby was on the ground unconscious. And then they went back downstairs. It is unknown whether they tried to... We know that they didn't try to help or interfere or do anything. We don't know if they tried to call 911. The only 911 on record right now is Courtney's. So... in Courtney's interview, she told police that about 1:15 that afternoon, Toby left and came back about 4:30-ish with Subway sandwiches for them. She said that she was on the phone with her mother and that she and Toby began to argue, so she hung up on her mother. She said she was mad because he had been gone for like way too long for Subway sandwiches, and he did not tell her where he went, and he has refused continuously to share his location with her.
Oh, no.
Which is control anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So then she said it got physical when Toby pinned her against the wall and he tried to strangle her. She said she escaped this 6-foot linebacker.
This big black man.
Yes. And got a knife and told him, get away, with her knife in her hand. And she said, I never intended to hurt him, but when he threatened me again, I threw the knife at him from about 10 feet away, and it just happened to stick in his chest.
Well, look at that.
Who are you?
I mean, she's obviously
Zorro?
A professional dart thrower, a knife thrower.
She must be at the axe and knife throwing place.
Yeah, she might be working there part-time.
But she didn't mean it. She did not mean to do it. She's just so great at throwing knives. It was a freak accident, but it was also self-defense because he hit me up against the wall and he was choking me. Also, during this interview, police come in and tell her that her boyfriend for the last 2 years is dead. Toby died. Huh?
I just said Obenselli.
Yeah, Obenselli. Christian Obenselli had died. The knife that she accidentally threw had accidentally hit a major artery and he bled out. She becomes hysterical. And if you look, there is a video of this in the police room. And she like grabs her chest and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And then there's this long pause.
Because she is dramatic. She is the crazy loud,
But she's not-
dramatic.
but it's not even good
There's
dramatic.
elevator. I mean, all the
Yeah.
videos.
Yes.
But
There is a lot of video on this.
Also, in this interview, I remember back in the day or whatever, 2 years ago, she mentions how she always watches, that she watches this YouTube crime podcast or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's Christina Randall.
Oh.
And she talks about it in the interview.
In the interview?
And I remember watching it because I watched Christina and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I bet Christina's like, oh God, don't mention me, girl. Don't mention. And so she ended up doing a video of it. And like, she's like, listen, I don't have nothing to do with this girl. She just watched my videos and I guess she wanted to. But I just thought
Why
that was,
is that something even mentioned in there? But I mean, there is extended video. She was talking about how she didn't even have to tell him what kind of sandwich she wanted because he knew exactly how she wanted her Subway sandwich and he got it right to
it's
a
the
T.
typical abusive relationship.
But reversed, you will see.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them that the women are the crazy ones.
That's what I'm saying, but reverse.
Yeah.
Typical, you think the man is what I was thinking.
I'm thinking, well, I guess because I know how this goes.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, like with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, she was the abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Vallow, she was the abuser of her husbands. These women who are powerful in these power positions become and who are like very narcissistic
Mm-hmm.
and who are opinionated and loud, and then they get a hold of these, people who are a little bit more
meek and nice and calm and ones who they can take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So after she's, crying hysterically for Toby, she asked the detective for a hug. And by the way, she was plastered during this whole interview, like she was drunk.
Because they had just got her from, right? Wasn't she still in her like bloody pajamas?
She had on like a big, she was still bloody, and I think she had put like a hoodie on over maybe her pajamas. Now, the police have to take her word for it because she's this beautiful white girl. He's a big black guy, 6 foot. How could he be a victim? He probably was choking her, So, and they didn't have any proof to prove otherwise. So she went home. She got to go home. She went back to that it's an amazing apartment that's shitty on the inside. They had no other proof, but they were good policemen. They wanted to dive into their relationship a little bit more. She obviously was very fake in the interview, so they saw it. They couldn't do anything to her right now. But they wanted to dive into the history of the relationship, so they begin interviewing friends. One of the friends said that one night Courtney had too much to drink and starts to confess to friends that she doesn't know why people love Toby so much.
Oh,
She's
no.
not in love with him anymore. She said that they fought all the time, and that one time she caught him sending money from her phone to his phone. So she kind of bad-mouthing Toby. We're in the room. She's talking about how great their relationship is. They also said Courtney drank a lot. And that she was easily triggered and angered when she was drinking. And that is when they would argue a lot. She was fine when she was sober, and that's when they had a great relationship, but bitch was never sober. 1 year before Toby died, they were in Las Vegas, and the police were called to their room because somebody was reporting them fighting.
Yep.
She threw a glass at Toby. The glass broke. After calling him names, she was the one that was arrested and taken in. During the interview, she was drunk, and she said that she had got a tattoo, got drunk, passed out, and that Toby was mad at her because she missed reservations to their dinner that they had planned.
Well.
Which is probably true.
Yes.
That ain't a reason to throw a glass at him.
No.
In October 2021, when they lived in Texas, they found text messages that was an argument exchange in which Toby said that Courtney had stabbed him in the leg and he could not walk. And I have some of these text messages, and some of them are so long, but I wanted to read some of this. February was the first month I had so far. I got cheated on. I got called that word again. I'll tell you what that word is. You can probably guess what that word is. I got slapped in my stitches that has reopened multiple times and is not healing fast enough. I've gotten kicked out. Memories of my girlfriend and I traveling are being thrown away. The apartment that my girlfriend swore to me and said, regardless of anything, we're not messing this up. We're not messing up this apartment. I'm honestly trying to just have a couple of things off the chest before therapy because... Oh, that was cut off. I woke up happy. I took you to Vegas to helped you shoot, drank with you, did blow with you, just so you're having a great day. And I'm doing all this while my leg hurts so bad. Did I make you feel like stabbing me? No, I just sucked it up and hoped tomorrow would be better. So basically, she stabbed her in the leg.
She stabbed him in the leg.
Stabbed him in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
He was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, he did not even make her feel bad about it. Oh, here it is. The crazy thing about it all, I'll take that first one out. The crazy thing about all of this is that yesterday when you stabbed me in the leg and you saw how bad it was hurting me and I couldn't walk and I couldn't do shit and you were telling me, I wish I could just take your pain away. I wish it was me and not you. The next morning, I still woke up happy and I gave you a good day. And even though my leg was hurting because my girlfriend stabbed me. So you're telling me that you can't do the same thing the next day and say, whatever happened last night, today's a new day. Because that's what I do for you all the time. I woke up happy. I took you to Vegas. I took you...
He took her.
I took your something, drove right back, helped you shoot, drank with you, did blow with you, just so you're having a great day. And I'm doing all this while my legs hurt so bad. Did I make you feel like shit for stabbing me? No. I just sucked it up, and I hoped tomorrow would be better.
And she didn't even feel bad.
Pisses me off.
I know, because I mean, mm-hmm.
On another day.
Well, he egged it on. He obviously...
He deserves it.
Deserved it, and so it's his fault.
Yeah. And this is back in 2021. So this is after they've been dating for a year. She kills him in 2022. Another text message says, Courtney, can you let me in? You hit me in the fucking face with the phone. It's blurred out, so I'm just entering my own cuss word. Then continue to hit the back of my head with the phone. Now I have a lump. I'm bleeding, throwing up. Think I got
a concussion, probably.
A mild concussion and I'm having anxiety. I slept in the restroom in the bathtub for 2 hours, and I'm just lost beyond words. All I hope for is a better tomorrow. You can let me in or not. I apologized before you said you were kicking me out and you spit on me. No matter how mad and tough it gets, you don't treat the one you love that way. State fairs tomorrow. Be ready. What, Toby?
It's like...
He just wants it to be like he wants to acknowledge it, but then he wants it to be over because he wants it to be better. He really
Toby.
Have you ever seen Roots? I know you haven't. It just reminds me, Toby is the slave, and they always say, Toby, good nigga. Toby be good nigga for you. Toby be good nigga for master. And he is being fucking Toby be good nigga for you. Toby be good nigga for you.
So it's a weird. It's like, why do you keep going? I mean, I'm just saying this in general. Like, why does a person keep going back to that person who's abused them or has hurt them? And it's like it's like the rush of it for some reason. Like, because you're not that way, but they're that way. I don't know. It's really...
Yeah. Well, and
it's like it's exciting, even though you know that you're going to be getting like beat down, but you don't care.
I don't know. I think he really does love her, and that he just wants that to be the last time. And when she sometimes does apologize if she's not gaslighting him, he really believes it.
I think that he might sometimes get jealous of things. Obviously, it's hard not to.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, you know, this is what my job is. And then she gets angry, but then she takes it to another level. And he's like, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
But it was always said that he was very supportive of it. Like he respected her job.
But I think you have to be, just as a person, have to feel a little bit of.
Maybe, but she ends up being the one jealous. She ends up that, like, if he speaks to somebody.
That's true. Yeah.
She goes crazy on him.
Yes.
I don't think he's jealous. I think he is very calm. I think he's supporting her. He may feel jealous inside, but I think he's too scared of her to even say it.
Mm-hmm.
Her response is, well, I'm really sorry, Christian. I hope you're okay. I'm sorry for hitting you in the face and the back of your head and spitting on you. Is it right? No. You just piss me off.
Dude, I literally
but I still love you.
I've been through that with the other person, but yeah.
But I still love you.
It's so true.
I don't know about the fair anymore. Maybe I'll have a change of heart after some rest. The latch will be off. I'm going to bed. Don't say anything to me until the morning. We can talk then. Like, you whooped his ass. He is bleeding. He's got a concussion. And he still wants to take you to the state fair. And you're like, don't wake me up until the morning. I may I may go with you.
It's so wild, but it happens all the time. It's crazy.
So he has to go to the hospital a bunch of times, like to get these stitches and for concussion. And so he wrote back to her saying, I'm not saying anything about what's going on. I'm going to say it's a football incident. And later that night and the next day, according to text, he messaged her repeatedly.
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 That's what I would say.
I was in the hospital looking forward to seeing you, and you go and drink and leave with someone when your boyfriend is passed out in the bed getting stitched up because I lost too much blood.
Oh.
Days after the stabbing, Clinty texted a series of great apologies. I love you so much, Christian. I should have been at the hospital with you, and I should have slept next to you. I always have. I feel extreme regret, sadness, and humiliation, and I am so, so sorry for hurting you. So one of the psychologists that was kind of reading all of these said that these kind of moments are intensely rewarding for the victim. And they reinforce the notion that she'll change, and it shows the victim the person that they fell in love with. So it gives them so much hope. But he was smart that he started taking pictures.
And video him in his pocket.
And videoing her. But he is a true victim, and it's so reversed because usually the woman, or a lot of times the woman is controlled by the man, and the man, this is the stay-at-home mom, and the man makes all the money, and she doesn't have any means to go. Well, it's reversed. Courtney had the control. She had the money. He is the man, and men have a harder time of reporting violence, even viewing themselves as a victim.
It's like Sarah Bone, too.
Yeah. Friends also said that Toby was so calm during these incidents, he never fought back. She would be so outraged that he could not calm her down at all, that he would just take it until she was done. So she would whoop his ass, and it's hard to picture this little girl whooping his ass, but she whoops his ass. There's video out there. And then video surveillance comes out of Courtney and him in an elevator. And this is like beyond the Jay-Z Solange stuff, where she gets in the elevator, he comes behind her, he tries to push the button on the elevator, and she is beating him in the head, she is slapping him in the face, the front of the head, the back of the head. He's trying his best to like deflect it and like put her arms down, but she still lands so many punches. In this video is when she's also calling him the N-word and says, "I'm going to fucking kill you."
That's not very nice, Courtney.
Then another video is leaked that he actually recorded on his phone at the apartment. There's alcohol in the background. The apartment's shit. She is yelling and cussing and berating him, swinging at him. He's just so calm, and he takes it like his mom probably told him, never hit a woman.
Yeah.
You have to...
Get out of it, though, but he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or he couldn't.
Well,
or he...
and if I don't know that there's a black or brown mom out there that hadn't ever told their kid, especially if your kid is big, it is going to be hard for somebody to look at you as a victim. If a woman hits you, you put your hands up, you turn around, you do not hit back, because even if you accidentally hit, you're going to do more damage than she is going to be able to do to you. And so he knows that if he does hit her, the police will be called and Toby Goodnigger finna go to jail. And little white girl is not. Friends had a video that was recorded in Aspen, Colorado. She had a photo shoot in Aspen. She showed up drunk to this photo shoot, and she had a cut on her arm. She was bleeding, and she was fired from the set. So when she gets back to like their Airbnb, she was yelling at Toby, saying it was Toby's fault that she got fired because he flirts with girls all the time and it hurts her and she has to drink to deal with it. So it's all his fault that she was drunk and she got fired. She whooped his ass again. And Toby had to go to the hospital and get more stitches.
This is the third time he gone to the hospital. Or second.
So police are finding out that obviously Courtney and Toby were very toxic. And not only that, they were about to get evicted from this condo in Miami due to constant noise violations from fighting and complaints from neighbors. They also told police that Courtney had kicked Toby out on April 2nd. So murder was April 3rd. He had been sleeping in the lobby. He had been sleeping in the hallways because she refused to let him back in. On the 2nd, she came downstairs, started a fight with him. They called the police on her, and she turns it around on him, stating that she wants a restraining order against him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying, why does Blake Lively do this? Some people just do shit like this just because they have the power and it may work and they want to hurt.
So crazy.
And they want to look like the victim.
Yeah.
But the next day, she let him come back to the apartment, and he went back. That afternoon, she went live on Instagram to her 2 million followers, and she tells her followers that in a couple years, she sees herself married and with kids soon with Toby.
Wow.
And just hours later, she kills him. So I was thinking, okay, you're in the lobby. She kicked you out. Why not just leave? Another way she controlled him is she never really paid him for all the work that she does. She just let him live this life.
Mm-hmm.
He could live in the apartment. She would buy him shoes and clothes and food. And that was her payment for doing everything that he did. So that's the way that she kind of kept him broke.
I'm sure she had a good piece too that she offered.
Vagina?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he could do something about it. Like I would hope that he could call his mom and she'd give him a plane ticket, but also that pride from a man doing that. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the apartment. She kills him, right? It's April 4th, so now it's the day after Toby was killed. Toby's mom gets a call from the medical examiner. And these are the medical examiner's exact words. Would you like to donate your son's organs? Wait. Yeah. She said, what? My son? She had no idea that he was even dead. That is how she finds out that her son Christian was dead.
What?
Is the ME is calling and asking about organs and cremation and everything else. Courtney had controlled him so that he pulled away from family. Classic domestic abuse stuff.
No.
And he rarely talked to them. Courtney.
Well, they probably knew she was crazy. Told him to get away from her.
Yes, get away from that crazy girl.
And he's like, oh, but I can't. She got that good.
Never make decisions off sex, drugs, alcohol, or money.
Then what you make it on?
Courtney moves to Austin right after the murder. She goes back home.
I think that's when she started to try to do real estate.
I would not be surprised. Near her parents or with her parents. And on June 16th, 2022, the Travis County Sheriff's Department get a call from an 18-year-old boy. Do you remember this story? He said that a drunk woman was following him as he was walking home, like in his neighborhood. Like, this is a nice little neighborhood.
What?
This drunk woman was following him and making sexual advances toward him.
Oh.
And when he declined her, she threatened to burn down his house.
Oh.
So he gets to his house. He goes inside. Oh, he's like calling his dad on the way because she's like behind him, like talking shit.
Are they walking?
They're walking like in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
His father comes out and tells Courtney to leave because by this time she's like at the house, in front of the house.
My gosh.
Tells Courtney to leave and she explodes on him and attacks him and is beating him in the face and the head.
What? I did not know this.
He does not hit her back because she's a woman and his mama taught him well. But she is arrested and goes to a rehab facility in Hawaii for alcohol. So I guess by now her parents have realized she does have an alcohol problem. And
listen, her
she's
parents
got a
already
violent
know
problem.
how she is. They already know how she is.
I want to know if, and it'll probably come out later, like, has she had a history? Is this when she got more money, more problems? Like, what is this? When did this happen? Or was she always crazy?
I think she's always crazy.
Medical examiner finishes the autopsy and concludes that there was no way that she could have thrown a knife and killed him. The knife was inserted with force and in a downward motion and from close proximity. So she was there. Was he standing? Was he on the ground? I don't know. I can't picture it. But we know she's good with knives because she has already stabbed him in the chin, cut up his face, in the leg, and then however many times that we don't have documentation of. So after that, the police had that, plus all the other things we talked about, all the other stuff that they gathered. So with that info and all their other interviews and the footage and the text messages, she gets extradited from the Hawaii Rehab Center to Florida and is arrested for second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
Her parents were also arrested for, I thought it was going to be tampering with evidence. It's actually unauthorized access to a computer, a laptop.
Which I feel like is tampering with it. I mean,
yes, that's not what they were charged with.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is. So what happened is Toby's laptop was at the Miami apartment and they had to go and clean out all her stuff at the Miami apartment.
yeah, because Mama didn't even know because Mama was over here just being asked about organs.
This is her mama.
Yeah, I'm saying that's why they were already in his apartment.
Oh, yeah.
And because his family didn't even know he was dead until the freaking medical examiner called about organs.
Yes. Okay, yes. So they took that laptop with them and they tried to they got desperate to help their daughter. And so they tried to hack into Toby's iCloud account to erase text messages. And maybe they probably don't know that detectives already got everything, right? So they even kind of conspired with their lawyer to do this. And so text messages went back and forth between the lawyer and the family about ways to get into the laptop and finding the PIN or the password or whatever it may be.
It's like the hardest thing to do.
So in January 2024, just now, both parents were arrested with the unauthorized access. But charges were dropped July of 2024 because technically the laptop belonged to both of them.
Oh,
and I'm sure
no.
Courtney bought it.
Oh, she did.
So Courtney gave them permission to use it, so they had authorization.
So then why are they trying to hack in? They didn't know. Could they get into it?
Well, it was Toby's iCloud, so they didn't know Toby's
And
iCloud
she
password.
didn't either?
Yeah. Courtney's now 28 years old. She has been denied bail and is still awaiting trial for second-degree murder.
I know. I'm like,
There's no. I looked for dates.
I know. I'm looking right now.
Christian Obumseli, Toby's parents, are suing the model for funeral expenses, wrongful death, medical expenses, loss of future income, and pain and suffering. And they are also suing the owners of the building and the security company for constantly ignoring the noise violation, the fighting, and the fact that they went up there, saw his body unconscious, and went downstairs and did nothing.
Yes, as they should.
Good lawsuit. So the lesson is social media is a lie. Life in the fast lane is not always the best lane. Men can be victims and women can be horrible, abusive abusers.
Yeah, hacking charges dropped. Yeah.
Also, people who witness these things do something like all the friends just ignore. Like, ignored it.
It's probably the same people she was around is acted. They're probably partiers who are drinking and doing coke and all the things. And
yes, but if
they probably told him, like, she's crazy, get the fuck away from her, and he probably just didn't.
Try, like, I don't
know. Can we talk about how she's no longer a blonde bombshell?
Oh, her hair is dark as mine and yours.
She got brown hair. She gained like 40 pounds. She got all kinds of acne. She ain't got no makeup.
Yes, she's not as cute as she was. Social media is a lie. The filters were a lie. It was a lie. Now, that money she made wasn't a lie because she was making 7 figures per year. They had like pictures of her W-2s and she was making like millions by that time, 21, 22, from her OnlyFans. And just a fun fact that I saw is 1 in 4 men will experience domestic abuse in their life.
Dang.
That is high. 1 in 4? That means there's some crazy bitches out there.
There are plenty. There are plenty.
There you go. There's the OnlyFans murder, and we will let you know how the trial goes.
Wait
how do you think the trial's going to go?
I think it's going to go great, and I can't wait to watch it.
Do you think she'll get convicted?
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so.
There's video. There's record. I mean, yeah.
But her defense is he was abusive and it was self-defense.
I know.
But there's no evidence pointing, like I didn't see not one thing. I know they keep a lot of things for the trial. I didn't see not one thing that he did something.
They'll have to convince me. But otherwise, it seems like she cray. And she did it. And she has a history of it. And let's go back to all the medical records. Any medical records of you being in the hospital with stab wounds from him?
No, ma'am.
Don't think so. Love it. That's on my list. That one's on the list. We have which ones? There's a one. Oh, Karen Reed is coming up in April, the second trial, which is going to be totally different. New prosecutor, all the things. It's going to be wild. August is Koberger.
Oh yes.
But this one. So finally, remember how Sarah Boone? It was like it took 4 years for that one, after that one to happen. So this probably will be like in 2 years it'll happen.
There's no date like said. It's not saying like,
there's nothing. There's no hearings. There's no, I mean, they have had hearings. They did have a couple, but I don't know what the holdup is. They don't
Maybe she's gonna take some type of plea deal, and there don't have to be a trial.
Dang, that would suck.
She just needs to go to jail.
I want a trial. But that's a good story.
All right, there you go. We'll see y'all next week.
Love it.
Week of Bloody Happy Hour. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network